Hello, hi Omkar. How are you? All well. I think your voice is echoing a little.
Is it better now? Much better.
Yeah, little better, little better. Thanks. So,
Well,
yeah. Thanks for joining in, Omkar, and welcome everybody to the second episode of How to AI Agent webinar series. I'm Radhika Sharma, growth strategist at Supervati, and I'm very excited to have you all here as we continue to explore how AI agents are reshaping industries. Right. So, after an amazing response to our very first session, today we are taking a deeper look at a major transformation happening in AI. AI moving from just processing data to now AI truly being an intelligence agent, right? It having the brain, the RAG, the knowledge AI agent. I mean, I we have Omkar here today to talk about it, but quickly, what's the flow for today? First, we'll cover the biggest AI and agentic AI updates because staying ahead in AI means staying informed. Then we'll move into today's deep dive led by Omkar Pandrakame, our Chief Strategy Officer at Superviti. And finally, we wrap up with a quick Q&A. So drop your questions as we go and we'll answer them at the end, right? So let's start with a few very recent updates we have our hands on. To begin with, AI agents, the new workforce revolution. AI agents are reshaping global industries. AI is no longer an automation tool, it's an operational backbone. Businesses are not experimenting anymore, they are deploying AI agents at scale. And these AI agents are already driving workflows, managing data, executing processes across industries, right? But even though enterprises are adopting to AI agents so quick, the recent report shows that 61% of enterprises are still in the experimental phase, citing concerns over security, its accuracy, and reliability, right? But that hesitation is becoming a risk because competitors who embrace AI agents are going to make the most of it and they will gain an advantage that compounds over time, right? The big companies who already believe in the strength of AI and AI agents are going to jump on the train so fast that they'll leave the station so quick. Meanwhile, everybody else is joining them. Industries like finance, retail, logistics, and healthcare are already integrating AI agents, and the efficiency gains are becoming impossible to ignore, right? So the question is not should we adopt AI agents? It's actually how fast can we do it before the competitor takes the lead, right? But AI is not just transforming workflows. What else, it's doing? Because workflows are not the only topic, right? So it's also completely reshaping the competitive landscape. The companies are making bold moves to dominate the AI arms race. To talk about companies dominating, recently Baidu's Ernie bot got free, right? It got free for users to use it. The battle for AI supremacy just escalated. We've seen AI evolve quickly, but what happens when a major player decides to change the game completely? So Baidu is making Omnibot free starting April, putting direct obligation on OpenAI, Google, and DeepSeek, and other big competitors out there who are into the same space and have established themselves. This isn't so. I feel that this is not just a pricing strategy. Just making it free is not a pricing strategy. It's about accelerating AI adoption. So let's get this straight. More users mean more training data, which leads to even smarter AI models. With accessibility no longer being a barrier, AI development will evolve at an exponential rate. And companies that limit to AI may struggle to keep up with those that are open. that have already opened the floodgates to AI. And AI is no longer a premium service. It's very clear that it's quickly becoming a mass market necessity. The real battle is now about scaling and not just innovating. That's like an old story. Speaking of scaling, let's also talk about how AI is not competing for just market share, but it's competing for fundamental transformation in how software operates. Agentic AI, the future of enterprise software. 33% of enterprise software will have AI agents by 2028. And the way we build software is about to change dramatically. Right? AI will no longer just assist, it will act. Agentic AI adoption is projected to grow from less than 1% today to over 33% by 2028. And this means AI will no longer just process information, it will take actions, make decision, and autonomously execute workflows. AI will shift from being a supporting tool to an independent executor. Businesses that fail to integrate AI agents will find themselves struggling to compete in an AI driven market. When people are claiming that over 33% of companies in 2028 would be AI driven, I'm just assuming the kind of cost they'll save, the kind of technify they'll become, and what kind of loss the competitors would keep bearing, right? The companies will move from AI assisted workflows to fully AI driven operations, fundamentally reshaping how businesses function. And this shift is not just about efficiency, it's about survival now. AI driven companies will have a competitive advantage that compounds over time. And now that we've seen what's happening in the AI landscape, let's take a step further and talk about the real game changer, turning AI agents into knowledge powerhouses. That's where the RAG and knowledge AI agent comes into picture. So our next speaker is Mr. Omkar Pandrukame, the Chief Strategy Officer at Supervati. And Omkar has been at the forefront of AI innovation, working on some of the most cutting edge advancements in AI agent. And today he's going to show us how AI agents are evolving beyond just retrieving informations. So, if you think AI agents are just search tools, think again. This is where AI gets really intelligent. So, let's start with an amazing session with Omkar. Omkar, over to you.
Thank you so much, Radhika, for that quick news update about whatever is happening in the world with AI. Fascinating, let's dive right into it. Do you have my slides, or should I present mine?
Right.
I can present from mine. Should I?
Yes, please. And can you please check with the mic once more? I think it's it's just me. Maybe.
Can you check whether my computer is okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it better now? Much better, I think.
Much, much better. Thank you.
Yeah, great, lovely. Uh, Let me share my screen.
Sure.
All right, so it's fantastic to see everybody who's joined in and everybody who's possibly going to see this later. RAG is one of the most interesting applications, one of the most early applications of AI agents, and right now we are seeing an entire wave of industries which are going to get severely impacted in a positive way, of course, with RAG. And the second idea over here is that how there was an immense transformation with a lot of digital companies now leveraging RAG technology in order to go ahead and start staying relevant in the market. So I'm going to be talking on a larger level of what are the kind of applications of RAG one can start looking at. Secondly, I'm going to start understanding. I'm going to share my understanding of how you can actually create a RAG agent, and I'm going to open up Supervity platform for you for free. You can go, you can create your RAG agent. Radhika introduced about the great work which has been doing. I would love to reflect. We are Supervity. We are present all across the world currently, all the way from Japan to US. The objective of Supervity was to create pre-built AI agents which can get deployed across functions, across industries, so that they can augment human work, all the way from helping contact centers to finance to sales to HR AI agents. Everybody's involved. Now, I want to talk about RAG and how is RAG helpful. So, number one is that it is knowledge management on steroids. I think there is a significant impact about the way knowledge is being stored and circulated within organizations. Predominantly, it was Google Drive, SharePoint, Dropbox. But one of the most time tasking thing was number one, to find it, to search it, to retrieve it. And the second was also understanding context towards it, right? A lot of time was spent by users, by internal stakeholders, trying to find the right information. And most of the time, this kind of information was well hidden within layers of people, within layers of system, and understanding context was very difficult. Knowledge management for the longest time was just providing you answers, and that was pretty much the pre-generative AI era. But now, post the generative AI era, in the era what we live in, especially a RAG-enabled knowledge management, the idea is that RAG agents or knowledge agents can sift through multiple layers of knowledge of database and provide you not only with an answer but a generative answer, which means that I can ask it literally anything on the basis of the knowledge. So this is knowledge management 3.0, courtesy of RAG, and every knowledge management professional out there should really start considering that SharePoint, OneDrive, they're all a passe, and henceforth it's only going to be RAG based knowledge agents. The second part, very interesting about RAG, is that its ability to process unstructured data. So everything from URLs of website to PDFs to videos to Excel sheets and images within PDFs, everything can be well extracted and retrieved from RAG. So earlier, you did not have to have a very structured database and for an SQL query to actually start getting the knowledge out. It can be in any format whatsoever, and RAG agent is able to make sense of it. The third part over here about RAG agents is that you can start ascertaining a personality, a persona to RAG agents through system prompting, and we're going to see how system prompting actually works, where we are able to go ahead and prompt it in the way we want it to respond. And finally, you can layer it with voice, video, a lot of interactive voice agents, a lot of interactive video agents are being created by some really good companies around the world. And it's essentially a voice layer which has a RAG agent, a knowledge base to go ahead and retrieve. So it's simply a text to speech function, and that text is essentially retrieved from any kind of knowledge layer. So that's one of the most interesting part. And you'll start seeing applications of this across the spectrum. So if I want to talk about, I already mentioned knowledge management. It is entering a completely new dimension. It's a $20 billion industry, completely going to get disrupted because of RAG agent. We're looking at customer support. We're looking at adding a fair bit of autonomy towards customer support, your entry level tickets, your customer troubleshooting. It's customer problem troubleshooting is all going to be laid to rest. There's a lot of work great companies, including ourselves, are doing in the gamut of how can we automate customer queries. Customers are fed up with FAQs and they really want to talk to a human. But to a large extent, a human responses again are delayed. It takes certain escalation metrics. But if we are able to deploy a very robust RAG agent, this all is going to be well taken care of. Also in sales enablement, right? Like, although being the chief strategy officer over here at Supervity, one thing which I always love doing is sales, right? But in order to sell better, I need information. I need knowledge. I need knowledge from my CRM. I need knowledge from my use cases. I need my battle cards. Now, all this kind of knowledge, to sift through it and try to find context, becomes very challenging for a sales leader. So through RAG, I'm able to retrieve the battle cards what I want. I'm able to retrieve fair bit of information what I want, understand, summarize, and generate a lot of my presentation, my contracts, even my RFPs to a large extent because of RAG use cases within sales enablement. Talking about RFPs, I think even legal and contract management, deep opportunity for RAG agents to really enable legal departments, compliance departments, contract management departments, so that discrepancies in legal contracts, understanding legal contracts better, generating certain key legal contracts on the basis of different things, creating proposals, all is going to be accelerated by 20 to 30 times much faster. The next term is HR and employee report, right? The HR as a department, I don't see any other department in the last 5 to 10 years experience such kind of a disruption with every new technology enhancing the abilities of the department further. And now, as of 2025, HR's ability to respond to their internal stakeholders, their employee queries, HR's ability to go and enable employees to know about their policies, to know about whatever challenges, problems they're facing on, all the way from how many days of leave is left towards understanding a larger level policy. You do not need humans to start answering that. And there's simple RAG agents which can start taking care of it. And finally, of course, there are multiple use cases. I wanted to highlight these six. These six is what we passionately develop also at Supervity, is the IT and help desk, internal stakeholders raising tickets about literally everything, right? From, hey, my laptop's not working, what's the kind of policy, towards something more advanced. A RAG agent is able to go ahead and help it. Now, considering that these are six use cases, collectively put, these six use cases uh, are well positioned to disrupt a market of more than 700 to 800 billion dollars on a lower side. So every company really need to start adopting some cutting edge RAG agents, understand the use case, and start deploying it. And today I'm going to be showing that RAG agents do not have to be as complicated to build as it seemed to, because if I want to talk about its architecture is fairly simple. I ask a question, the retriever is able to understand the context, it runs through a large language model, and I get a response to it. So again, if I want to really simplify how RAG architecture works, this is essentially how it works. And I don't think anybody should complicate it even further. This is exactly how a RAG architecture can end up working. So now I want to really show you how it works. So let's try to RAG it. I am going to RAG on my favorite platform, which is, of course, the Supervity platform, and want to share that how easy it is to build RAG models. So in a minute, let me just fire up. I'm going to stop my screen sharing and go to a different one. All right, so this is our console where you can create practically any type of AI agent which will suit your business needs at Supervity. Today, I'm going to show you how to build a RAG agent, or in simple words, how a knowledge AI agent works. So first of all, there are different types of collections, right? So if you want database, if you want live search, if you want transcription, or any kind of unstructured data, you choose that. I'm going to structure unstructured data, and let me just say that this is testing RAG, right? And this is created to answer questions, right? And now over here, interestingly, we have to choose what large language model we want to power it by. Right now, I'm just showing you about 4, but literally all the way from DeepSeek to OpenAI, GPT-4o, 4o Mini, Gemini, Meta, Llama, Mixtral, Anthropic. A lot of models can be deployed in order to start giving me answers. Right now, I'm going to choose a light model, which is a GPT-4o model, and I'm going to say that the base language is English. The moment I create that, I'm able to see a very interesting view. First of all, I'm able to see what should I start putting it in the memory. So, I can kind of connect my Google Drive, I can connect my SharePoint, and I can also upload local files from my computer. If they are handwritten one, I can also try to go ahead and put OCR, which is my object character recognition. And so my handwritten notes can also start getting ragged. So let me upload a few documents. I was uploading the financials of apple.com, Apple's financials. And I can go ahead and I can submit it, and it's going to tell me that. Now, very interestingly enough, this is where you start giving the personality, what you want to give to your RAG agent, right? So over here, you'll see a bunch of instructions about that. You're an assistant tasked with answering questions based on provided data. The input consists of followed by source and page number, always provide citation, primary source check, consistency check, so on and so forth, right? So I'm able to go ahead and give a brief kind of system prompt, or essentially adding guardrails on how you should behave while you are going ahead and giving answers. So yeah, it is loaded up, and I can switch to my classic view, and I see the consolidated statement over here. By the way, in order to train your RAG agent, you can upload any kind of document forms, PDFs, video files, documents, any kind of file types, from PowerPoint presentation to doc to Excel to MP3, a bunch of URLs as well. So add data from public URLs and start asking questions, which means that any kind of websites which are including your website or competitor's website or your prospect's website, you can start putting and uploading it, and any kind of text you want to add. So we'll just go ahead and start off with this pretty lady. What is this document? Oh, lovely. So this document is a comprehensive financial report. Key highlights: total net sales. Well, Apple earns a lot of money. About, wow, I think that's about $8.9 billion. This is their cash flow, whatever, right? So, and the best thing is I'm able to go ahead and see what is the source of the page, right? So interesting enough, ChatGPT, other large language model, there's a very high tendency of it hallucinating and not able to actually go point to a source, but it can, go and start telling me about, it can make up information. But when we're deploying a RAG agent, it becomes fairly accurate with the kind of information it is giving. Now here's the fun part, right? If I ask you something very different, which says that what is the capital of Peru, for example. So, it is not able to go ahead and provide me any information because it is not trained on that particular data set, right? Now, this is a very primary application of RAG. But if I'm able to go ahead and make it a little bit more interesting, let's say that this is my RAG. Let me just go back over here. And let me add URL. I'll add URL of Supervity, our website. Now over here, very interestingly, it is a time-consuming process, but I can scrape the entire website and ask it questions. So I will go ahead. I'll delete this for now and say that what is the what is Supervity? What does Supervity do? Brilliant, right? So Supervity provides a bunch of this, and it's able to go ahead and start telling me the source. Now, if you want to get a little bit interesting, right, you can end up saying that I am a social media manager for Supervity. Can you create a LinkedIn thought leadership post about Supervity? Right. Now, the best part is now we can start adding any kind of personality, persona, using our system prompts, using our guardrails, and start using it to start creating it. Right. So I have a LinkedIn post which has been created at Supervity. We are redefining how operates, so on and so forth. I can say that I am writing to the CEO of a large bank in Netherlands about Supervity. Can you write an introductory email about it? Right, so brilliant, right? So dear CEO's name, transform with Supervity. I'm reaching out, real-time fraud detection, loan processing automation, and AI-powered compliance reporting. These are the things what has been scraped from Supervity's website, and by leveraging Supervity's AI automation, so on and so forth. So RAG becomes a really, really powerful tool. And just to give you an example, at Supervity, we end up using so many of our documents as the collection, and we start dragging it and start asking a whole lot of questions around it. And the future, not even the future, the immediate short term developments into this is that I can automate RFP fillings for salespeople. I am an HR manager. I can automate onboarding for an employee. All the questions what an employee has can all be answered in an automated way. If I'm able to add a voice layer towards it, right, and which is very simple to go ahead and add a voice agent towards it, it is able to understand any kind of question what we do, and then with a simple text to speech TTS, it's able to recite the answer based on this. So point being, Radhika, I think we've overshot our time royally, but what I really want to share with all our listeners is
Mhm.
that you really need to start relooking the way knowledge is being created, shared, and retrieved, because knowledge affects every function, right? ITSM function, marketing function, HR function, sales,
Mhm.
every possible one within the company needs access to knowledge, and on top of it, needs to use knowledge to augment something or to be creative over here, right? Right now, I could be a sales manager, I could be a social media manager, I could be an internal HR manager. So the
Mhm.
point is that can you start deploying RAG agents for all of your department? And if that happens, that's the first very, very prudent step towards AI transformation of your company. And this is not a big boys play. This is not only exclusive for Fortune 500 companies or really large enterprises. Startups, 10 people, 50 people, 100 people companies, agencies which are working with startups, they all need this kind of a solution, so that they can, be more responsive towards their customers, can handle a lot of employee queries, can sell better, and ultimately build a fantastic company. So yeah, this was a quick demo, and yeah, if anybody has questions, we can answer them in the chat, and we will share this with everyone as well.
Wonderful. So, Omkar, we do have a couple of questions. First of all, thank you for an insightful session. And I like to call the Knowledge AI agent as a brain for an organization that each employee can access. So, thank you
Yeah,
for answering the thought.
it's funny, right? Radhika AI talking about drag agent.
Right, amazing. Amazing. So there's a question. Is this platform, our Superviti platform, open to use for anyone?
Yes, yes, you can. You can.
Right.
Whoever asked that, we can share a small link towards them, and then they can start using it, seeing it, playing it, and if the consumption goes higher, we can bill them.
Right. Sounds perfect. And just one more thing. So RAG is a very AI and techie word, right? If you had to define it or talk about it in like a minute or something, can you say
Yeah, RAG is that little. I could actually ask, create a paper on RAG and then rag it and say that, hey, explain to me as if I'm an 8-year old. But if I would have to explain that, it would be very simple, right? Think of it as a super smart kid which has a very intelligent application layer, which means that it can speak very well, it can understand very well, but the only thing is that it is able to speak and understand. It is able to understand and absorb at the speed of light and also speak in the way the situation demands, as long as his brain or her brain is filled with the relevant kind of knowledge, right? And
no?
that knowledge can be deposited through any means, whatever, voice, PDFs, URLs, videos, whatever it takes. So it's a super intelligent kid who is able to answer all the questions, provided that he has that kind of knowledge, and he's only able to answer, he's only able to do that based on the knowledge exclusively what has been fed.
Right, right. Amazingly answered, by the way. And on this note, I would want to, sort of conclude this session. And
Now the next
just,
session.
yes, yes. So we'll bring a lot of interesting sessions in this whole series of How to AI Agent, How to AI Agent webinar show. And we'll continue uncovering a lot of trends, learning how AI agents are doing, what Superviti is doing, what market is doing, and all of that. So thank you guys for joining. And please reach out in case of questions, and we'll be happy to see you next time. Perfect. Thanks, Omkar. See you.